it's a time to remember first of what Jesus did when he came the first time, but also in anticipation of when he comes again. Like the first time he came, he gave us hope of a future.
It means being able to have a greater family, greater than your own immediate biological family, and being able to share a community when some people aren't able to.
For me, it means it's the coming of salvation. It's the hope of having a relationship with God, the hope of having a relationship that we can never restore.
I think it's very humbling to know that the God of the universe chose to come down on earth as an infant, as a carpenter's son.
The fact that the Son of God came to this earth and lived a 33-year life on earth is very comforting for me, because then I know that this is a God that is not just a God that's up high, but that's a God who's lived the life that like I'm living right now, and that he understands all my struggles, because he's also gone through the struggles.
In the New Testament, when he was washing his disciples' feet, and back in the day, disciples' feet, like today, we don't think too much of it, but back in the day, they wore sandals and stuff, and weren't very sanitary. Washing people's feet was probably not a very pleasant thing back in the day, but he was willing to do that for his own disciples. Shows a very interesting amount of love, like that you don't see that in other religions.
A God that's so high up is willing to come down to have like a real personal relationship with me. So yeah, it's very, it makes it very personal. It's not like something like out of reach anymore, but like it's like with me, like a friend in real life.
In this world, there is so much brokenness between family relationships, natural disasters. Sin infects anything and everything that goes along with our world. And so, most of all, it disrespects God, and we don't deserve God's love, God's mercy, God's kindness whatsoever.
It's very humbling because it's like we never deserved him to begin with, and for him, who is like the King of all kings, to come down to the earth and save all of us is really humbling and personal to me.
There's a song I like, it has this lyric that says like the author entered the page, entered the story, and he came to fix things, I guess, in a sense, but in a way that no one else expected. And I think that is always like a really humbling thing and like kind of hard to comprehend, but I think it really helps remind us of how we should live our lives.
Just the opportunity it gives me to remember, just the hope that Christ gave us when he came into this world. It gives me the opportunity to be thankful and grateful again for all that he's done.
And so it's amazing to me that God decided to send Jesus and that Jesus agreed to come in the first place. I like to say that when growing up, when I made Lego structures, if I didn't like it, I would just wipe it out and restart. God didn't do that. God took on our suffering, though he's the one who suffered the offense.
The whole story of the Bible is about the relationship that we have with God and how we ruined it. And we could do nothing to restore that relationship. And so no matter how hard we tried to be good, there was nothing we could do to fix it. And yet Jesus is God himself coming down to fix that for us.
And so that's really comforting to know that I have a God who knows all my struggles, and that is willing to have a relationship with me.
Him willing to do that and die on the cross for us, it just shows that he's willing to replace himself, put himself up there instead of, sacrificing a sacrificial animal.
God took that brokenness upon himself, and that we can be whole again because he decided to come. It's not anything that we deserved, it's just the grace of God.